Blades Ramble are proudly supported by our main channel sponsor, My Business Group, a group of brands designed to support owners, leaders and managers in business. We would not be where we are without the incredible support of John and the team. If you're looking to grow your business, contact mybusinessgroup.co.uk today for more information or follow the link in the description below. And as this is 90 after 90, I want to thank our sponsors, Cosmetic Repair Solutions, an independent award-winning network of vehicle accident repair centres located in Chesterfield, Rotherham, Dinnington, Barnsley and Derby. Visit the website to find out more or get an estimate at cosmeticrepair.co.uk.
Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I am, of course, Jimmy, and this is 90 after 90. Back-to-back wins for Sheffield United. Back-to-back wins. And look, those... I've got a show called Yorkshire's Finest on Ramble FC. And that's with Callum Fowler, and we were on last night I think it was, myself, we brought Connor on. They wouldn't give me the Didsey Award, which is our Performance of the Week award, for a 1-0 win at Watford, against Watford at home. You've just beat Watford at home, that's all it is. Well, to us Sheffield United fans, that were a big thing, and we know how much that meant to us as a club, and hopefully would then instill into the players. Today, we have gone to Blackburn, and look, it was not perfect. There were certainly big holes. There were a lot of complaints in our... We've done a watch-along, myself and Joe, today. A lot of complaints in the comments at half-time. Look, let's start from the beginning then. So I can hear somebody in the background, so I'll just do... Dave Morwood, I've seen you. Good stuff, I'm pleased you're calling in. But we'll get to you soon, pal. So, we started... The lineup was an interesting one to start with, because Danny Ings and Tom Cannon are both in the team. Both strikers. And you think, oh, two up top. It's got to be two up top because they're two strikers, obviously. The only niggling thing in the back of my head was, will he play Tom Cannon on the left? Because he's played Tom Cannon on the right before. Ruben Sayers was playing Tom Cannon on the left. But I'm pretty sure Wilder's played Cannon out on the right before. But he won't be so stubborn as to stick to the 4-2-3-1 with two strikers in the team. Surely that's two up top. It looked like three at the back with Tanganga, me and McGuinness. Ogbenny and McCallum could be your wing-backs. Siddy and Samari in the middle. Samari, I thought, played well today, by the way. Callum O'Hare in the 10. And then Ings and Cannon up front. Brilliant. That's what we've been calling for. So, more fool us if this goes wrong, because this is what a lot of us wanted. Well, they kick off, and it's a 4-2-3-1. It took us ages to work it out properly, because surely that's not the way we're going to play. And Lewis, who's waiting, and we can have a conversation about it, and he may be right. But in my opinion, it appeared to be a 4-2-3-1, Tanganga at right back, McCallum at left back, Ben Mee and McGuinness as centre halves, Siddy and Samari in front of them in the 2, and then Ogbenny on the right, Callum O'Hare on the left, Danny Ings in the 10, and Tom Cannon as a lone striker up front, who's never worked as a lone striker for Sheffield United. But it was a really perplexing way to set up, and it sort of... There was some negativity in the chat, and I understood it. I think Tom Cannon got hung out to dry a little bit, not only by Chris Wilder in the formation, but also I think he's a bit of a scapegoat for some now. And I can be... people can aim that at me for doing that with other players previously as well. A lot of people thought I scapegoated Jack Robinson. So these are all just people's opinions, and it's an emotional game. And it gets even more emotional when you go 1-0 down, and deservedly go 1-0 down as well, because... we went behind against Blackburn, who were playing better than us at the time. Me and George were saying at watch along. We started well in the first 10 minutes, I thought. And then Blackburn came more into it. They started going long, causing us all sorts of problems. Ben Mee and McGuinness, for as solid as they are slow players. And we know this. We know this is a truth as to how they play. So if you're playing those as a 2 rather than as part of a 3, then they're always going to be vulnerable if you let them push up a little bit. And that was happening. We were getting sucked in. and then they're going over the top, and they're getting in behind us. And they caught us on the break, and they scored quite a scrappy goal, but they'd outnumbered us, and it were fair that they got in front when they did. And I think we came out second half, no changes. So again, some of the comments were like, "What is he doing? What's all this about? Why is he not making the changes?" Samari, well, it's been awarded as an own goal, but a great corner from McCallum. Samari presses really hard on their defender, and it knocks in. It's bundled in from 2 yards. It's gone down as an own goal, which I think is, it's probably what's happened. But without Samari's pressure, it don't go in. So we equalise, and from there, United take the reins. Really, that's how the game went, in my opinion. And obviously, as you go forward, I'm just absolutely buzzing with the result. We hadn't scored. I can't remember last time. We certainly haven't scored more than 1 goal this season. But to turn it around, because what we were saying was, this is the real test of character. And this, for me, is better than going to Blackburn and just winning 1-0. This is better than that. This is going and overcoming mentally that you've gone behind. Before, we'd have down tools. We've seen it this season already where we're down tools. We saw it in the Premier League, even under Chris Wilder, it has to be said, where the players were down tools because they knew they were beaten. They had no confidence. Well, he makes 3 big substitutions. He takes off, I'm not going to remember, but I know he brings on Burrows for McCallum, Ty Campbell for Tom Cannon, and Ings comes off for Brooks. And then Brooks goes left in his natural position. I know he's played on the right wing before, but he's a left footer. So as a winger, if that's the way we're going to use him, he can play out there. And I think he's done a good job in the performance that he's come on. Burrows went to left back. We kept the 4-2-3-1, in my opinion. And Campbell went up top. And a fresh Campbell against the tired defence looked a lot better. I think he made a good impact as a substitute. I know we've given him a little bit of stick, and I think deservedly so this season. But I thought he looked really good. Busy. Could see what we'd been missing in the game. Put Tom Cannon to shame a little bit in that lone striker role. Again, I think Tom Cannon's hung out to dry a little bit, but nevertheless, it's Ty Campbell's run who muscles off the Blackburn challenge, but the Blackburn challenge just sort of gets the ball. It flicks to Callum O'Hare. I said Callum O'Hare had come off? No, I hadn't at that stage either. It flicks to Callum O'Hare, who then saw the overlapping lung-busting run of Harrison Burrows. And it's a brilliant finish. It cannot be understated, the technique, and I said this on the live, but he has run from halfway to be that extra available body. A kid who's just missed a penalty 2 games ago, by the way, not been getting in, lost his spot, and he bombs it into the area. Callum O'Hare with a lovely weighted pass, and he strikes it first time, and he has to hit it first time because it were going to be closed down. So easy for a player so low on confidence to take a touch, but he really, really sort of cutely places it into the bottom corner. It wasn't flushed directly in the corner, but it was just a really well taken finish. Puts us 2-1 up. And then as they're committing bodies forward late on, so that was the impact of the substitutes in that regard. And then as they're pushing forward late on, it's Burrows, I think. Oh no, it's Brooks over the top to Burrows. Burrows bears down on goal, gets in behind, almost gets to the byline, pulls it across. Tyrese Campbell's there for a tap-in at edge at 6-yard box. Absolutely brilliant. 3-1 Sheffield United in the dying minutes. Puts everyone's sort of fears to bed. It were an absolutely incredible finish. And I'm absolutely buzzing. So we're going to get to your thoughts. As I say, we've got people waiting to have their say as well. I will get to those, but let's get to some comments first. The thing is, because these follow on, it's not always easy to catch where the first comment comes in. So I will try my best, because it's on my thing. It's just continued on from the last one. So finding where the last comment is not always easy, but we'll go from diddle. Who's definitely made a comment? Chris Smith has definitely made a comment. Well, the first 5 league games. This one was first 5 league games. Okay. I just don't want to miss anybody's comments, but I think we might miss the first few, so I apologise if we do. We'll start with what I know has definitely come in on this stream, and it is Alan's £3 super chat. Well done, Blades. Happy for you, Jim. Thank you, Al. Very much appreciated, pal. United do win again. Oh, you might be able to work it out from here. We'll go from Andrew Sweeting. I've seen your comment too. Not only a little bit further up. Okay, we'll go with that. When the ball, it's the goal. It's not Shearer or Cole. It's Samari. It's not, is it? Because he didn't score. But I get the feeling. Alex says feels like our Blades are back, and that's down to Wilder. On we go, up the Blades, up the Ramble. Look, I think if we're honest, a few of us have been questioning Wilder tonight, early doors. The substitutions have certainly pulled it around, and obviously his subs changed the game. I think he was stubborn with the formation, but it's his subs brought on into that formation that have got us the win. So ultimately, he's done it. He has turned the result around. But could it have been different had we? Who's that coming in? Big T, I can see you, pal. Would it have been different had we started with a different formation? And that's probably a discussion worth having. Up the flipping mighty blade, says Joe. Joe says coming back from 1-0 down was just, if not more important than the win for me. Heads didn't drop like earlier in the season. Correct. Rice says the Blades are back in business. Chip, but he says great to see Burrows back on form. Buzzing. Sam says nice gesture for Samari with the fans at the end. I think he can really kick on now. Thought it looked really good. I did. I have to say that. Ben says played well tonight, and I think the team we had playing in the second half, I think should be the team for Friday night against Preston. Up the Blades. Matt says buzzing for the fans, Jimmy. We've waited ages for this feeling. We won't be below that dotted line again this season. On to the next, where we have a great track record. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Well, I think, don't want to burst your bubble, but can't we go back below it? Can we go back below it tomorrow? Because there's a few games on Wednesday, isn't there? Let's have a look at what the fixtures are tomorrow. The fixtures tomorrow: Oxford play at Wrexham, Wendy's play against Borough, Watford, West Brom, Swansea, QPR. So, if I go to the table, let's have a look at the league table. Any of those teams below? We know that Wednesday are below us. Norwich, no, Norwich can't get above us. Wendy's are unlikely to win by 3, so they'll stay below us. You're right. There's no chance for us. Oxford and Wrexham are both directly above us, so one will drop points there, which is good. Some opening up more space above us. We're on 9 points now. We are 9 away from the playoffs. I'm not going to talk about it. Matt says, getting buzzing out of the bottom 3 as well. Again, sorry, Cannon needs to go. The difference when Campbell came on was so obvious. Campbell making runs, showing for the ball. Cannon hiding anyway. Get in. Joe says, Samari class and seems a right nice young lad. McGuinness won every header. Burrows, massive impact. Siddit and Cal ran their socks off. We are so back. We are back, baby. We are back. A lot better after the sub, says GT. I agree. The tide has turned, says Paul. We'll not get too carried away. Phil says, hello, Jimmy. Wonderful night for the Blades. Showed great character coming back. Interesting what the lineup will be at Preston. Well done, Chris and the players. Not forgetting our amazing fans. Up the Ramble. Joe says, what a turnaround to think we're only 4 points behind Ipswich after that drubbing that they gave us. Wilder proved me wrong at half time. If we can stay in touch with the playoffs until Jan, we can really push on then. Up the Blades. Oh, unbelievable. Samari is is a player absolutely fantastic today. His ball winning was amazing. John says the turnaround just as important as the result for instilling belief. Heads aren't going to go down now if we go 1 down. Before, once the oppo scored, we looked dead and buried. Now we know we can do it. Completely agree. I think, like I said, this is more important than going there and winning 1 or even maybe 2-0. Because going behind and coming back just adds to that belief. Dino says, Burrows was class when he came on. He is so back. up the Blades, up the Ramble. I could have just titled it that. We are so back. LA Blade says, 90 after 90, did we win? It's a massive yes from me. Come on, you red and white wizards. That's before we change the thing, isn't it? Great night to be a Blade, says Paul. Brilliant second half, says Matt. Hopefully the boost Burrows needs could end up being a really important game. It certainly could, mate. It certainly could. Matt says there'll be some tired legs out there today, so some changes for Friday. I'm sure Burrows in, Campbell in, Tom Davis in if fit. I don't think Tom Davis will start, to be honest. And maybe Brooks and Barrett in. Fresh legs needed, up the Blades, and moving on up. We'll be back tomorrow. We're countdown to kick off already because it's Preston on Friday. And we'll be doing a watch along for that as well. So great to see the players with huge smiles on their faces at the end. This has to be the turning point for us, says Chip Butty. Justin says, brilliant away win that. I wasn't big on Wilder coming back, and I still disagree with the odd decision, but I can't argue whether he's getting us playing again and up the table. Fair play to him. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Do you know what I love? I love the fact that people on here, and it's something we've worked hard to get to, but people on here are comfortable coming on and saying how they genuinely felt about whether they are holding their hands up and admitting they were wrong or doubling down on something that was an unpopular opinion. We want this place to be somewhere where you can all come and give your honest thoughts on what's gone off. So nobody's going to be unanimous on Wilder is the saviour. Just because I'm quite high on Chris Wilder, as we all know, some people love then sticking it to me if we lost or whatever it might be. But others, like Justin as well, when we do win, who wasn't big on Wilder, he's not saying he was against it, but he wasn't a huge fan of it. Fair play. Fair, and he still agrees with odd decision. I disagreed with decision tonight of the starting formation. I loved the lineup, and then the starting formation I was really questioning, and I still don't think it worked that well with the personnel that he originally set out with. But then when he made the subs, and it went back to more round pegs in round holes, Callum O'Hare in the 10, who's been playing so well in that position, Andre Brooks coming on a legitimate left-sided player now. It's a big difference. Jimmy Foster, hope you're well, pal. Looking at the table, we shouldn't fear any of this lot. Come on, you red and white wizards. Gage says, absolutely buzzing. I had little hope at half-time, but they surprised me. I have missed this feeling. Alessandro says, back-to-back wins. What a buzz. The confidence boost, that'll do. Get in, you Blades, up the Ramble. Nice one. Cooler King says, get in, what a win. Very poor first half when the setup was all wrong. But full credit to Wilder. He made changes that won the game. The second and third goals were superb. Up the Blades. Absolutely right, up the Blades. Gemma Hill says, Big Tony says, hurry up, Jimmy. We've got a decent signal. Oh, should we let Big T queue jump? I know Big T wants to get on and have his say. He has been doing Ramble on the road for us. So let me just see if I can get Big T in. He's in a privileged position if I'm letting him queue jump, because there's some very distinguished characters waiting as well, I have to say. Gaz, have you dropped out and come back in again? Unbelievable. Let's have a look. Can we get Big T on? Is it going to work? It looks like his signal's gone because he's frozen and he's left. What is that about? What is that? Big T. I think we might have to try in a minute, pal. I think we might have to try again in a minute. Are you there? No. This is the beauty of live internet, peeps. This is what we do. Steve Ball says, brilliant first half. Peckin O'Hare outstanding. Looking more and more solid at the back. Bean says, cannon, but think, oh, hang on. It must be a continuation. Yes. Massive to come back and win and score 3 goals, which I didn't see coming before tonight. Still not perfect, and the first half was awful, but hopefully he keeps building confidence. Nothing against Cannon, but I think he's done in a Blade shirt. He doesn't look interested and never touches the ball when he's on. I'd have one ahead of him now. Samari getting better and better too. Right, interesting point about Cannon there, Bean. And I know a lot of people may have heard my thoughts on this. I know somebody else who's on the same wavelength as me that I'm going to bring in now. It's my first guest, usually known as to be quite negative, but we may have a positive Meldrew on our hands tonight. Good evening, Mark. How's it going, pal?
How are you doing, pal? You okay?
Yes, I'm good, mate. Back-to-back wins for the Blades. What we saying?
That's shelling peas, isn't it?
Decent, isn't it? Decent, that.
We're not used to this, are we?
No, we're not. What did you think to the game, pal?
I think, like I said at half-time, I genuinely thought there was something in it for us. I do think that they were a little bit fortunate to go in. I know we weren't fantastic, and we've already spoke about formations, and I were a little bit confused with myself. Like, if you're going to play Cannon, for me, you've got to play him in a two. Play him in Ings up top and let them see how they go. I mean, they did all right against Hull, so I half expected that to happen. And then saw like Ings in 10, and I thought, what's going on here? Like, but
what were that
second
about?
half, fantastic. I thought they were good second half. Standouts for me, Samari, I thought he was outstanding. I think he looked better than he did Saturday.
I agree.
I mean, he weren't amazing Saturday, but there were a significant improvement tonight. I thought Mark McGuinness second half, he won absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Just first half, they seemed to get that side was a little bit, which I sort of mentioned. But yeah, and good thing about tonight is sort of subs had an impact. And I think being like 1-0 down at half time, it would have been easy for any side down there to sort of come out and sort of lose that 2 or 3-0. But it shows there is mentality in group, and we've got to sort of cling on to that, because we're going to need much more of that sort of as season goes on, and hopefully this is sort of a springboard for Friday and sort of future matches. So
I agree, mate. I agree. When I saw the lineup, I was convinced it were 2 up top, and the only thing that we're going to sort of knock that off course were if Campbell went out on the left, because we've seen him out on the left before under Sayers, and I'm sure he's played on the right for Wilder. But when Ings is in the 10 and Cannon's a lone striker, O'Hare's pushed out to the left, do you feel a little bit for Ings and Cannon? Not just, obviously, Cannon's the one that gets all the stick, but I think Ings struggled to really impact the game like we know he should be doing further up the pitch. Did you feel like they were hung out to dry a little bit?
100%. I mean, when they have both come on sort of in previous games, and listen, I'm not going to sit here and say pro Cannon. I do think he could do more at times. I think odd time when he can ball up, I think he could do better with that. But at the same time, he ain't a player that can play up front on his own. He needs 2 up front. I do think, like you said, he's kind of hung them both out to dry. But I'd like to sort of hear what he's thinking were behind that, because there were clearly a feeling of why he did it. So, yeah, we're weird. It was a weird one, but
well, it weren't working, was it? It weren't working either.
And it's easy for Wilder to come out now and say, "Well,
we've won.
It's not worked, but it has." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, listen. Pleasing thing, we've scored 3 goals tonight. I never thought we had 3 goals in us, to be honest. Never mind 2.
Yeah.
But goals are brilliant tonight. Samari's got stuck in there. They've got it OG, but I'm getting it all day long.
Yeah, me too.
Borough's brilliant finish.
Great.
And that might be a kick up backside he needs. I mean, McCallum, I thought he had a decent, steady game again. I mean, his deliveries into box are fantastic. I know you touched on it Saturday, but he has got a real sort of cross on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got to use this now. We've got to get some confidence in it, lads, which this will tonight, and let's sort of kick on. But yeah, big plus tonight. I thought they were all decent, to be fair.
Nice one, mate. Nice one. I'm going to let you get off because we've got a lot to get through, but thank you for calling in, pal, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Take care, pal.
Yeah, you too, mate. See you soon. Top man, Mark Meldrew. I'm going to straight into our next caller because I don't want to get too far behind on them either, and I don't want to have them waiting for ages. But it's a founding member of the Positive Blades, originally known as 4PV, now appointed Andy the Blade as an honorary 5th member at the moment. It's Lewis. How's it going, pal?
Lucky t-shirt.
Yes, mate. Yes. 3 for 3 on that t-shirt, isn't it, this season?
And by the way, hang on.
Oh, no.
Tastes like promotion.
Oh, no.
You're not having it?
No, I'm not having it. We're 21st. I'm not having it. So we have to be sensible. It's one step at a time. It's on to Preston. Yeah, that's ridiculous. There's being positive and head in the clouds. So come on, mate. Talk to me about what you thought about that game. How did you find it?
We started okay.
And what formation were we playing?
Right, so we had a bit of a debate in the chat on this, didn't we? So,
I hadn't seen it yet. I hadn't seen it, but we're in the live chat, me and you, yeah. But if you mean the Platinum chat, then I haven't caught up on that yet. There'll be over 300 messages now for me to catch up on. So,
you know, when you said it, I'm kind of looking at it thinking, is he a 4? But I think the problem for me is Tanganga just wants to be a centre back.
Yeah,
so he just comes right in.
He nudges in. You're right, and McCallum wants to be further forward, so they do that, don't they? They do shift and it is quite fluid at times. But it looked like a 4 to me in general play. I might be wrong.
I did the same with me. I'm just looking at him coming in narrow all the time, and McCallum pushing on. And to me, you look at different things, don't you? You're seeing what you want to see sometimes. And of course, I wanted the 3.
I did too.
3-4-1-2, as we thought it was before kickoff, and it turned out to be nothing like that. So,
yeah, Danny Ings in the 10. Nobody had that one on the bingo card, did they?
They did not. But I will temper my positivity though.
Okay.
Whilst I joke and say it tastes like promotion, it was a very patchy performance, wasn't it? I mean, it got better as the second half wore on, and as we brought more tried and tested players onto the pitch, the subs made a massive difference, as you've alluded to.
Huge.
Yeah.
Do you not feel like though when you are? I mean, all that we care about at the moment are results. So at the moment, to get us out of this predicament, we need results. And I think if we keep, it was something my mountain said a couple of weeks ago before we'd beaten Watford. He was convinced that if we keep doing the right things and the players keep getting in the right positions and the right areas, like we've started to do under Wilder, he was saying it will come. And it's been proven to be so, really. And my only concern with it was if a game doesn't go our way, will it dip and will we then sort of see players sort of fade again a little bit? But we're doing the right things, and I think sometimes, like somebody said the other night, we were lucky against. Somebody said in comments, we were lucky against Watford. They should have beat us 3-1. I do think you make your own luck at times, and I'm not saying we were due it or anything like that. But I do think if you get yourselves in the right spots and you keep doing the right things and you make the good runs like we were doing tonight, not everything was coming off. And I agree with you, it was patchy in spots, and there were some bits where we looked quite sloppy, particularly on the transition to defence. But we rode our luck a little bit, and I think there were, like Mark said earlier, there were good goals that we scored and deserved goals as well. And to come back, what do you think that can do for our season, mate? I don't want you to say, I know automatic's still on technically, but what do you without your truly positive hat on, what do you genuinely think in terms of where can it take us this season if we can continue this momentum?
With me serious head on, I'm very much like Dave the Nose, if I'm honest, where it really is. I know it's cliche, very cliche, but it's one game at a time.
Yeah.
We put a decent ball into the box and it essentially ricocheted off a defender, and we got a little bit of luck because we forced the issue. We did something positive. We put the ball in the box and it broke for us. From there, I mean, that's character to keep pushing.
Yeah, it is.
And to not let your edge drop.
Yeah.
And then from that, we've built and scored 2 very good goals on transitions, kind of breakaways, really. Yeah. Certainly the third one was great ball over the top from Brooks, I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
To Burrows. Burrows has made a massive impact on the game. It should give them a massive confidence boost because they've come from a position of being 1-0 down at half-time away from home. Then they've gone and got 3 points. When, all right, Blackburn, I didn't think were a great side. I thought at half-time, I'm not panicked because I didn't think they were particularly great themselves. I thought if we can just tweak things a little bit, get a good word in their ear at half-time, we can turn this around. And that's what happened ultimately. I think Wilder's managed the game well as well. He's made good substitutions.
Yeah.
The selection at the start and the formation didn't really work. But, I think sometimes you just got to manage the game and turn it around.
It's not how you start, is it, mate? It's not how you start. It's how you finish. But I would agree. I think at half-time, yes, I wasn't worried that they would go on and make it 2 or 3. But I was still really frustrated because they were another team that we've played that were here for the taking, and we weren't playing anywhere near the levels that we can. So that was the frustrating thing, that we haven't seen enough of this Sheffield United team this season to convince ourselves that we could go on and win, even 2-1, never mind 3-1. So it's amazing to see. From a fan's perspective, Mark's come on and said, I didn't see us scoring 3. If we're thinking that, the players must have that in the back of their mind somewhere, that it's been so unlikely this season that we'll go on and get 2 and 3. And to do it all within 1 half and turn the game on its head completely, whether it's come through persistence or a little stroke of luck with the own goal or whatever it might be, we've then gone on and taken control of the game, something that we haven't done this season, and we put them to bed. And there were some hairy moments, and it was that last 10 minutes is never an easy watch with Sheffield United, particularly when we're in front. But we've gone up the other end, caught them on the break. They're a poor side, but you've got to beat what's in front of you. And we've done that tonight. We've beaten Watford at home, Blackburn away. We go on to Preston, who I think were losing. I don't know if they've lost, but Preston were losing last I saw. So they were playing at home. There's a chance here. There's a chance for us to start to build some momentum for the season. And if we can get a result again at Deepdale on Friday night, then there's every chance come January we could be in a position where we're able to look up and challenge. And I think it's very early days to even be speaking about that. Just 2 wins, 3 wins all season. But with the way it's turned, it feels like we're building some momentum again, doesn't it?
It does, and the fact that we went there and won tonight from a goal down, in spite of, and this is easy to forget as well, we're missing Gus, we're missing Blaster, we've been missing him for a long time. We've got personnel issues. I still think we need a target man. I still think we need someone we can put the ball up to. Riedewald has only had 2 cameo appearances, really. It looks a very good signing.
Yeah, he does.
It's a great find on a free. But we need to get him integrated still and get him doing 90 minutes at some point or something close to it. So there are issues there. Tanganga playing right back when he's a centre back. There's the squad's unbalanced as well.
Yeah.
And we've got back-to-back wins. So we've got to take the positives from that. Friday, I think we can go and get something now because I think that they'll be up. The mood will be up. And we can go and get something there, especially if Preston have dropped tonight.
Absolutely right, mate. Lewis, thanks for coming on and joining us, pal. Very much appreciated as always. I'll catch up with you soon.
Up the blades.
Cheers, mate. Top man. See you in a bit. Top man. Thank you, Lewis. Right, let's get back to some comments then. All right, okay. I've got Jamie Dumpling just saying he's had to dip out. That's okay, no worries, because I think the signal were poor where Jamie was. Wilder is a genius, says John Asquith. 4-2-3-1 is clearly the best formation in the world ever. Awful first half. Great subs who made the difference. Time up for Cannon. Look, I don't. It's a bit like the Samari argument. I sometimes have to play devil's advocate. I'll always be honest in how I feel about it. I don't think Cannon's great. I don't think he is. But I also don't think he's been given a fair crack. When we saw that team tonight, a lot of us were excited to see the potential of Cannon and Ings as a partnership, and we didn't get to see that tonight. We didn't. He was a lone striker. Danny Ings dropped into a 10. That didn't work for me, and I don't think it worked during the game. It's not revisionist to say that. While we were playing that system, with those bodies in those positions, we were 1-0 down. And then he changed it to square pegs for square holes. Andre Brooks comes on. Andre Brooks, the winger, comes in on and plays in the wing. Our number 10 goes into the number 10 position. And let's be right, our best, but out of form striker comes on to be the lone striker, which he's most used to playing and most suited to playing of the 3. Harrison Burrows obviously had a huge impact as well. So I think time is running out for Cannon, undoubtedly. It's just, will it ever work? I suppose that's the question. It's not a case of, do I believe it or not? Me and O'Hare were immense, says Blunt Yorkshireman. Samari also shone as the game went on too. Get in. Up the Ramble. Top man. The Feel Good Factor is back, lads. Or is the Feel Good Factor back, lads, says Martin. Brilliant win after a poor first half. Up the Blades. Up the Ramble. Helen says Samari earned his place tonight. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair shout. Pro Brad says, good performance. Thought Brooksy looked great when he came on and Gyro looks class. Yeah, he does. I really like the look of Gyro, and it's becoming a good problem to have now, isn't it, in terms of who do we start in the middle. Poor old Matos isn't getting a sniff. He won't drop Sidney Peck. It might be a rotation thing on Friday where just managing minutes he might start with Gyro. But Samari, like Helen says, more than earned his place in this side. I think tonight it was his best game in a United shirt. He wasn't amazing, don't get me wrong, but I think he played well and didn't look out of place in the first 11 as a first teamer, which is what we've been wanting to see from him, isn't it? HJ says, dire first half, second half were brilliant. I think Samari gets man of the match, but Burrows, Tanganga and O'Hare were brilliant. Brooks also played really well, setting up Burrows for the final goal. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Sam says, absolutely fantastic second half. I totally thought we were done for after that first half. Up the Blades. Yeah, me too. Danny says, getting Blades. Missed the game as I was working. We'll sleep well tonight to know we've got another 3 points. Up the Blades. Up the Ramble. Like and subscribe and hype. Josh says, what a win, Jimmy lad. Unbelievable to come back and win tonight. The lad showed terrific character. On to Preston. Absolutely right, on to Preston. Up the Blades. Up the Ramble, he says. Thank you, mate. Ian says, was nice to see Samari get his flowers at the end from once again superb away support. Absolutely. We have got the best away support in the league, haven't we? I'll have that debate with anybody. Cal Fowler, Connor, or any other fan channels want to come on and tell me they've got better support than us. I know Leeds and Barnsley aren't in our league, but they're the two that I go back and forth with more. I will debate anybody about United's away support. Was nice to see Samari get his flowers. Great. So up the Ramble. Up the Blades, like and subscribe. Thank you, mate. Huge confidence boost coming from behind. Great sub impact, says Ian. Absolutely right. Quackshot. Quacks a lot. I thought it was Quackshot then. Quacks a lot says, well done, lads. Great result on the road from a Leeds fan. Great to see the Blades turning it around. Thank you, mate. David says, we're on a comeback road at last. The road in front of us will be rocky, but Wilder will see us there. I think that'll be. Romeo says, Romeo's not done. He says, I take back what I said. Better second half. First half was dreadful. Up the Blades. Up the Ramble. It's all gravy, Romeo. It's all gravy, baby. I hope some get that reference and don't just think it's me being weird. It's a bit of both, to be honest. Luke says, yes, Jim. Buzzing. Samari, man of the match for me. Not just because he scored, obviously a contributing factor, but also thought defensively he was strong and very good. Up the Blades. Do you know what I think it did as well? I think it lifted his entire... not aura, that's the wrong word, but it lifted his presence a little bit. He then started breaking up challenges, and I thought he looked really strong, particularly second half. But I think he had a good game altogether. Ben says, evening, Jimmy. Look at the smiles and togetherness of that group at full time. Love to see it. Hoping for birthday celebrations on Friday with 3 points at Preston. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Like and subscribe. Thank you, mate, and happy birthday for Friday. I guess I'm dreaming, says Marco. Yeah, possibly. Free Shot says, we scored 3 goals in 1 half. I must be dreaming. Yep. Robbie Gotts says, getting Blades 2-0. Said 2-0, take 3-1 all day. Momentum continues. In Wilder we trust. Game's so back, says Josh. Maury says, this is why I'm like super positive Jack, because I can see we can hurt and put teams to bed, but more often than not, we don't. But I could see Wilder's face at half time. He didn't look happy. He's not happy. Soccer AM for anybody that wants that reference as well. Maury says, I don't have confidence in Canada. I don't think he believes in himself. Aldi says, hey up, mate. The Gobby Ram here. Hey up, pal. Congratulations on your win. We beat Norwich 1-0. Glad to share with another winning team. Up the Ramble, up the Rams. Nice one, Aldi. Thank you, pal. Thanks for jumping on and joining us. Yeah, it'll be we're not far from us playing each other soon, is it? So, Lisa's up them Hillsborough Blades, Jimmy. Much love, pal. Mr. Vancouver has gifted memberships. Unbelievable. Thank you, Mr. V. Glenn Marsh has got one. Smudge Smith's got one. Ry Hobson's got one. Giles, he says, thought we did better today. Thought playing much better at the back now, and we are putting the ball in the net onwards and upwards. 3 goals in a half. Momentum must continue. Scarlett says, so happy. Yeah, me too. Round of applause for Mr. V, says Danny. As always, one of the most generous people associated with the channel. Unbelievable, mate. Dave says, great result tonight. Players' form coming back, but feel January's strong number 9 is required. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Like and subscribe. Flyover Fred says, as a claret, get in there. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Nice one, pal. Also, Jimmy, I got banned from Norwich's live stream as they didn't like my views. Oh, dear. Some people, you know. Some people. John says, coming back on a very happy coach. Are you more convinced by Samari now, Jimmy? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Again, I don't want it to be taken out of context. I wasn't saying he's not a good player or I'm not having him. I was saying I think he'll be down the pecking order when Arblaster returns to fitness and Gyro gets up to full fitness. And we need to be playing players who are ready for the first team. And up until today, I hadn't seen that. Today, I'm happy to be wrong. Happy. Shoreham boys, we are here. Oh, Shoreham boys, we are here. Says Ross Clark. Yes, we are, mate. Matt says, looks like characters coming back into the team. Great to see some resilience. Wilder finding the right way to motivate players with Burrows and Campbell looking super from the bench. Yep, fair. Stan Collymore once said he couldn't believe Liverpool paid $8 million for him without a plan. Not the same, but we bought Tom Cannon with no real plan. This lad has the potential we'll not realise, says Russ. Interesting. Eon says, evening Jim, get in, the only way is up you blades. Scotty says, evening pal, can't call tonight, but we'll try and get on the next one. Be good to see pal. Big 3 points, 3 blooming goals, and winning from behind. Buzzing for Burrows and Campbell to get goals too. Back-to-back wins, up the blades, up all the rambles. Dave says, great result, but can anybody tell me what Tom Cannon actually contributes to this team and how many chances does he need to prove himself? Thank you to Danny Revel, who's just become a member. Wilder drops Burrows and Campbell and gets the reaction he was hoping for from them, says Carl. He is a great man manager. Paul Rose of Wellstoned Landscapes, currently doing some work at Ramble HQ. First half was poor from both sides, but much better second half. And I think he's seen who will be off in January. I think you might be right, pal. I think you might be right on that. I am going to now go to our next caller, who's been waiting very patiently. And I can't remember which order I put him in, so let's just say it's Gaz. It's Gaz. Whoa! It is Gaz who has been zoomed in. Let's sort that out, Gaz.
I've got a face for radio.
Some people might be still having. Yeah, some people might still be having the tea, pal. So anyway, mate, the man in black has joined us. And I think it's fair that you do, because there's a couple of decisions I'll talk to you through. But first, talk to me as a blade, mate. How did you find that result?
So I thought we started well, but first 10 minutes was a good, solid start, to be honest with you. I was like, yeah, looking good for tonight. And then they just worked their way into it, didn't they? And just got on top of us. I think once that goal goes in 40 minutes, I'll be honest, I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah,
here we go.
I was too. Too.
Gone behind. Every time we've gone behind this season, we've lost.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on, we need to try and sort this out. And to be honest with you, the only thing that frustrated me about around the 35th, 40th minute is we could see this wasn't working. Playing Ings just behind, and it wasn't working.
And O'Hare off the left. It just, crazy.
Just doesn't work. And Wilder's not the only one for that, by the way, that won't change something when he sees it going wrong, tries to play it. But I thought he should have changed it then. I definitely thought he should have changed formation or changed the way we play at half time. He left it. We got the goal again against the run of play. I thought they were still on top when we get that goal. But then after that, we're good to go. I think we're the better side. I thought the subs got to give Wilder where his dues are there. He's made 3 excellent substitutions. I thought Brooks was class when he came on. I can't remember personally seeing him on the left.
No, he played him on the left last game, but it's the first time he's really been tried on the left, I think. It makes sense for me. Obviously, as a right winger, he's left-footed and he'd cut inside every time, which made him quite predictable, to be honest. Yeah, but as a left-footer, it's more natural for him, I feel.
Yeah, that ball that he plays over at top for that last goal, it's class. I thought Burrows, great finish. The Burrows that we remember from last season, I think, with that sort of finish as well.
It's a great run from Burrow for the last goal I'm talking about. It's a great run from Burrows, who's anticipating the pass, but it's the pass that makes the goal, really, from Brooks into it. The pass that's how it's weighted, how it's over the top, and it goes into his stride. And then, obviously, Burrows puts a great ball across as well. But again, you're right, Gaz, like you were saying there, Burrows' finish, really composed finish for somebody that's quite low on confidence. That was to put us in front as well. You can't forget what state of the game we were in. He's made a lung-busting run to get there, and he hits it first time. And I just think it shows the quality that is in there, that we know is in there, and it's just great to see a little bit of it seeming to come back.
Yeah, it was class. I think he'll start on Friday now.
Burrows?
I do. Yeah, I think he'll start.
I do.
I think he'll start now. I think there'll be a couple of changes, and I think you just saying then it's like we've got a lot of players out at the moment. We've got Davies. I'll tell you, if we can get Davies fit, and I know it's an easy. Let's be honest, if he's fit, he's probably playing Premier League. But if we can keep him fit for more than 2 minutes, it'll be class. When Blaster comes back, we've got a good player. I think Samari. When I first saw Samari, I thought he had something in him.
Yeah,
and I saw him again at Oxford, and I was like, "You're good," but he seemed to be blowing a bit. And now his match fitness and his time in the squad's coming on. I think he'll be a quality player, mate.
I'm going to ask you a couple of refereeing bits, mate, and then I'll. So there was a bit where you were helping us out in live chat, actually, because we always refer to you whenever you're available to give us the lowdown as to what a pro would do in this situation. But there was a point where we were slightly critical of the ref, where Gardner Hickman is going for the ball at the byline, the Sheffield United byline, and him and Peck come into a bit of a tussle, and he basically rags Peck about, and then Peck, they both got a yellow card ultimately. Yeah. I think you'd clarified in the comments that you wouldn't have, you personally wouldn't have cautioned Peck in that scenario, but if there's any sort of hint of retaliation, that's why Peck will have been cautioned as well. Yeah,
so the problem you got is, as soon as you get a mass con, as we call it, a mass confrontation, the first thing you're looking for as a referee is the instigator and the retaliator. They're your first two. And then anybody that's ran 90 yards and started proper going handbags, as they say. So you're always going to look for that retaliator and instigator. And if as a referee you just give it one way, unless it's absolutely blatant, which it wouldn't have been, the only reason we can see it really close up, and just probably the players can and the referee can, it's because of the TV. Yeah. So to the overall game management, you're going to get that retaliator and instigator. Me personally, when I've looked at it on TV, I don't. There's only one person you're giving a yellow if you're going to give it anything, and that's the Blackburn player. I think Peck was a bit harshly done by, but
that's easier to say when you've got the evidence in front of you, isn't it? Rather than in real time.
Looking back at it, I don't give it, but on the field of play, I don't know what
you may have done.
Yeah. To be honest, I probably would have.
Yeah, you can certainly understand his thought process, guys. Yeah. So thank you for explaining.
100% got his thought process. Yeah, it's retaliator, instigator.
So the other one is a praise. I know it's like praise or grumble this, but it's Jord were almost about to kick off before we got our second goal, and I think you know where I'm coming from here. So Tyrese Campbell picks up the ball, and he's going shoulder to shoulder with Blackburn man, and he's probably unfairly brought down. It looks like a challenge through him that ends up dropping to Callum O'Hare, and Jord is about to scream, "That's a free kick, referee, what are you doing?" He plays a brilliant advantage. He plays an absolutely brilliant advantage. Callum O'Hare slides it into the path of Harrison Burrows, who slots it into the bottom corner. I think we sometimes do, obviously there's not really anything for you to explain there, I suppose, Gaz, but it's more a case of giving refs their flowers when they get the right decision, because it's very easy to pull them up on something that they didn't do or that they did do that you think was wrong, but also those sort of moments where, yes, it was a foul on Tyrese Campbell in my opinion, and if nothing had come from the play, then he probably gives a free kick, but he's looked at the bigger picture. He can see Callum O'Hare's the next to pick up the ball. We're still in the attacking phase, and he's let the play go, and that's brought us our goal to go in front.
Yeah, as a referee, you're always wanting to let the game play. You don't want to be stop start. But if the players want to play it that way, we will do. If you want to give fouls away all day, we're going to give fouls away all day. But at every opportunity, if we can play that advantage and let them play, especially at the higher levels, as you go up, it's hard. He probably doesn't play that advantage against the dog and duck against the crown. Probably as a referee, you won't play that because they're just going to ping it and there is going to be no advantage. But as you go up the football ladder and up the pyramid, you're trying to play advantage in different positions. We don't usually give it defensive third, because if you give an advantage there and he makes a stupid mistake, the player's made the mistake, but I guarantee as a referee you're getting it. Yeah. So usually final third, definitely halfway line, that sort of area, we're trying to play advantage and let the teams play football, because the fans want it, the players want it, football expects it.
Top man. Gaz, last question, put your blades hat back on then. What can this result do for the team now?
I think us going away and winning 2-0 or even 3-0 today, I think this for a morale boosting thing is bigger. Better. Yeah, I agree. We've come from behind. Yeah, Blackburn, I think they're the worst team I've seen this season, to be honest with you. I did see Watford because I was away, but definitely against a team like Blackburn, we've gone 1-0 down with us in a relegation battle currently with us. I think it's a great result. And I think you saw the players afterwards. You saw the reaction afterwards. It was massive. Hard game. Got the Hecky effect as well we'll have on Friday. But yeah, it's going to be a good game. I agree with Jord. I'd take a draw right now.
Would you?
Yeah, I'd take a draw right now.
I'm being a bit greedy. But yeah.
It's only 9 points, isn't it?
7 points from 9 would be incredible, wouldn't it, to be fair?
Yeah,
so, bunch them up
it would be. And I think if we get to January, 6 to 9 points away from them playoffs. Let's go for it.
I think we will, I think if we are in that position, I think he'll be backed. So it's exciting. Exciting to think we could maybe even salvage something from this season that so many of us thought were written off already. Gaz, thank you so much for joining me, pal. As always, it's great to speak to you, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah, have a good one, pal.
All right, buddy. See you later. Thank you, mate. On to the next one, and it's nobody but Dave Mwood. Where's your pasty, Dave? Where's your pasty? Oh, come on, what are you doing? Don't do this to me. Oh.
Well,
I couldn't hear you then. What did you say?
where's my pasty?
Yeah, where's your pasty? I thought you had a pasty to celebrate.
I had it at dinner time, mate.
Oh, because you knew we were going to win. Nice. Did you get to watch the whole game, David?
Yes. Yeah, even the last 6 minutes I watched.
Oh, well done. From behind the sofa.
like this, Jimmy.
Yeah, I know. How did you find it, mate? Did you enjoy the game? Did you? You go through ringer?
First off, was a bit, like everybody. I was thinking might be going two up top.
Yeah. And
then I don't know what we played. It just seemed to be 4-4-2, 4-3-2-1. 4-5 none.
It were crazy, weren't it? Crazy
but
way
what
to
I
set
couldn't
up.
understand was we know it wasn't working. We could see that.
Yeah.
So why didn't Chris sort of say swap over, push Ings up front, and let Cannon be just behind him?
I know.
See if that works. But I mean, to his credit, he changed it in the second half. I put a comment in saying at half time something like, right, Blades, we now need 45 minutes of Blades football. You've got this 45 minutes to get something.
It were a huge ask at that stage as well, wasn't it, David? Because we haven't seen that this season.
No.
But if they could do it, then it's a huge and they've gone on and done it. They've turned it around, and it's
they showed character, commitment.
Yeah.
And the third goal, the 3 Bs got together for that third goal.
3 Bs.
Yeah, Brooks, Burrows, and Big Ty.
Oh dear. I don't think he'll like that, Big Ty.
But don't worry me, mate. It's about 450 miles away from me.
I think you could run faster than him at certain times this season as well. But anyway, that's by the by. We want him back, don't we?
It was good, but I think I'm going to stick up for Tom Cannon here, and I've seen a lot of Tom Cannon for the past couple of seasons.
Yeah.
And he is not a lone striker.
I agree with that.
He is like a fox into penalty box. The ball's got to come to him facing goal.
Yeah.
That's his strength.
Yeah. I agree.
And he proved that at Burnley. All right, it's one goal. It's good at Burnley, but it was passed on to him running towards goal, and he smashed it into the roof of the net.
Yeah. I'd say Danny Ings is the same, David. I'd say our strikers are predominantly penalty box strikers, and if you'd have gone 2 up front and had them in and around the box, then it'd have looked a lot more a lot more lively in that final third. But I just think it would just strange to me how we set up with Callum O'Hare being pushed out of position to accommodate Danny Ings in a position he doesn't normally play. It's not we've won in the end, so it doesn't matter ultimately. But if it's an experiment, it's an experiment gone wrong for me.
Yeah, I don't think it worked at all. Well, he proved it didn't work because he changed it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He brought the subs on. He put Cal back at the number 10.
Yeah,
but I was still pleased for Samare.
Me too, mate.
He looked good, and at the end when he was pushed by Chris Wilder to the fans again, and they were all cheering for him. He got a smile on his face.
Agreed. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, the all lad. I mean, this is it now. What I said, we need to keep this momentum going. It was small. It's a bit bigger now.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your thoughts for Preston on Friday then?
Well, every time I make a prediction, different thing happens. And then when I do go against them, the result comes true. So
Right,
I
we'll
would
ask
be
you for-
happy with a point at Preston.
You would.
After tonight, I would be happy with the point because Preston lost tonight, so they're going to be up for it.
Yeah, that's true.
And obviously, it's Eke, so he's going to want something from them. But we've got to show now this character and commitment that we had tonight has got to carry on.
Davey boy, thank you so much for that. Anything else you want to touch on before we go?
Not at this time, mate. It's time for me to go to bed.
Me too, but I'm going to get through some comments before I do. Thank you, pal.
Up the positive ones.
Up the positive ones, another one of that crew.
Dad.
Yeah, including me dad. All right, see you soon, pal.
Cheers, mate. Bye.
Ta-da. Nice one. Dave Mwood there, top bloke. Thank you for joining us, pal. Right, let's jump back into some of these comments then. Paul Rosewood, last one of Wellstone Landscapes. Liam says, what a win. We definitely needed that. Onwards and upwards to Preston, up the Blades. Howard says, Burrows may have cost us a point at Hull, but he got us 3 points tonight. Come on, you red and white wizards. Yeah, it were a goal and an assist for Burrows, weren't it, tonight, ultimately? Tom says, ain't nobody like Samari. Makes me happy. Makes me feel this way. It was brilliant tonight. Proper Wilder second half, that. Get in there, United. Can we get playoffs, Jim? We can. We can. That's the question you've asked me, isn't it? We can, Daz. We can. Whether we will or not is a different thing. Absolutely buzzing with that 3-1 result, says Jord. Couldn't have gone any better. What a result. Come on, you red and white wizards. Up the Blades. John says, like and subscribe, everyone. 800 plus watching and only 5 likes. What? You might have to refresh, pal. I think there'll be some more than that, hopefully. But I would hope so. And while we're on counting stuff, let's have a little look now, because we've got some unbelievable numbers in the watch along. We're now 79 away from 10k. 79 subscribers away from 10,000 subs. A huge target. Let's be honest, the target I'd set for myself when we first started, that were it. 10k was the one. Not far away, 79 people away. So if you're not subscribed and you enjoy what we do, don't just subscribe as a pity sub, but yeah, join the family and join this positive movement, I suppose. Let's have a look. Who else has not had a comment read? Jamie says the first half was grap, but Wilder, he fix it. Paul says, shout out to Alan Nill. Great results for the squad. Up the mighty Blades. Always shout out to Alan Nill. Absolutely right. Don't know why he's getting singled out there, but maybe it's just because he doesn't always get his flowers as well, and I think that's probably good that you've highlighted that, pal. Dave Hamed, Runner Blade, says, great win. Up the Blades. Do you think Wilder gave the Corma all Jalfrezi talk at half-time? I think it were a Vindaloo, weren't it, at half-time? I think it were a ghost pepper of a rollicking, to be honest. GT Blade says, Jimmy, don't know how you did it, but just before we scored, the score on the stream had already had us winning 2-1. I think it was like 10 seconds in front of our actual thing, because Jord had to pause his to get in line with mine as well. Yeah. Mystical. Yeah. Lee says, been out, not seen the game, buzzing for the result, getting Blades. Game and a watch-along to watch tomorrow now. Shall I fast forward to the second half? Yeah, probably, mate. Up the Blades, up all the Rambles. I think you did get mentioned, whether it might have been even before kick-off, but you were mentioned early doors in the watch-along, pal. Hope you and Jane have had a great night tonight. Happy anniversary for today. Yeah, it's today, isn't it? 9 points from the playoffs, says Bladen. Adam says, Wilder has instilled belief back in the players. Great to see. Samari was really good today. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Dylan says, great win. Anyone know why Ogbenny is still getting played? He weren't great today, Ogbenny, were he? He weren't great, but, he might be one of those that's being looked at. I know Chris talks about him favourably, but he does about all the players, and it doesn't necessarily mean that he rates them. It might just be the options that he's got available to him. I just thought he'd give us a little bit more, Ogbenny, to be honest. And I've been down on players this season that have... Samari's a prime example. I didn't think Samari was giving enough to sort of stake a claim for the first team until today. And now, today, we're all raving about his performance, aren't we? So, it's not... He's got it in his locker, Ogbenny, to hold down a first-team place. I'm interested to know where Sariki is. Because if we do go to a 3 at the back, then why ain't Sariki getting considered for a right wing-back spot? I know we didn't play that formation today, but... George says, now let's stay above. I assume he means them in the table. Christine says, Wilder's going to be criticised and it's not fair, I don't think. He's had to work with a squad which wasn't his. And just to say all our players are finding their feet through Wilder. Yeah, I think he has to certainly take the plaudits as well. I mean, you won't ever find any resistance to a praise for Wilder from me. But I think it's fair that people are allowed to question certain decisions. That's what it's about, isn't it? I forgot to put my lucky top, fluorescent yellow Labour top first half, put it on at half time, so it must have been that. Yes. I also think it might have been Lewis's Blades Ramble top that got us through it. But only saw the last 30 minutes, says Russ. Chris Owoluwo making Don Goodman look like Nostradamus. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Yes, he was. It was very pro Blackburn as well, weren't he? Which it doesn't surprise me, but it's disappointing. Charles, he says, don't forget to like and subscribe, everyone. It doesn't cost anything, and it's a great channel. Up the mighty Ramble. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Andy says, Brooks did well again. Great dinked pass for Burrows to square it to Tyrese. It was brilliant. It was really good. Pangera says, feels like an important result for the players. This one, having the belief in comebacks being possible, will be crucial later this season. Great resilience shown tonight by the team. Onward we march. Will says, Brooks and Burrows on the left Friday, please. Called 3 goals, just wrong players. Up the Blades. Yes, you did, mate. And it wouldn't surprise me at all to see those 2 on the left on Friday. Statman Jack says, come on, you Blades. Some interesting results elsewhere tonight too. So happy for the lads and glad to see elation from a win again and coming from behind. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. That's Gary Barlow, isn't it? Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Ian says, this will be a David Webster free zone tonight. Yes, it will. I'm pretty sure. Tom says, huge result, but seeing how close the players were at full time gave me a boost of confidence that they're getting back to themselves. Only way is up now. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. John says, Toronto Blade, they were not subs, they were finishers, and boy, did they finish. Nice. Well put, pal. Disco Dave will be in full voice on the way home, says Howard. Disco Dave. Love that man. Platinum Rambler. Jake says, massive win for us. Glad to see Burrows look like his old self again. Would like to see Campbell as a sub again and go Ings only to start against Preston. His fresh legs made such an impact tonight. Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Michael says, couldn't care less what the formation was. We won. End of story. Can see the confidence visibly coming back. Things can only get better. D. Ream once said that, didn't they, I think? Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Fez Blade says, are we better without Hamer? I think we get more out of O'Hare when he's not in the team, but it's Gus. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, like and subscribe. I'm not ready for that conversation yet, but it's certainly a conversation to be had. Eric says, first half, poor display, all down to Wilder's formation and starting lineup, including Cannon. Fair to him, he pulled it round in the second half with subs, leading to a more positive performance. Beat Oxford, beat Watford, beat Blackburn. We are back, says Chris. Mr. F says, third goal was probably our best move all season. Great ball from Bucks. Burrows class and Campbell made it look very easy with the finish. Yep. Yeah, no complaints at all. Not that anybody would. Sam Bott says, absolutely buzzing with that result. Can we go 3 for 3? It's greedy, innit? But I hope so. Paul says, hope the owners can now see the mistake they made sacking Wilder. United looked a different side after the subs. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. William Footy Lover says, I feel like a weight is slowly lifting from everyone's shoulders. Let's just enjoy tonight and can't wait for Friday night. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Love that. I'd love to hear Andy the Blade's thoughts on this match, says Bry. Yes, me too. Me too. Deep in the heart of Texas. We'll see. Probably not about now. If they were waiting outside, they're going to a college game at some point, college football game. So whether that's, I don't know what they're up to, in all honesty. Ings only works in a 2 up top, says Flyover Fred. Harrison Burrows take a bow, says Wilf. Stick Buttersley says, this is what happens when you get balls in the box and you take chances. Great second half. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. P.S. Haters get off Cannon's back. Doesn't help. Still young, needs to get confidence. 1 goal may spark that. That's a fair point. I also, having defended Cannon, I also think people are more than justified to criticise Cannon as well, because he has not done it. I don't think he's been played to his strengths. But again, he's got to do more. He still doesn't show enough for the ball for me. He doesn't anticipate. People have mentioned this as well. I think if we got the ball to him in the box, he'd have a great chance of scoring. But he has got to work at that as well. If he's putting a 1, he has to do everything that a 1 needs to do, even though it's not his game. I think he's better in a 2, and I thought we were getting that tonight, and we didn't. So I thought it was being stitched up a little bit. Would you take Harry Clark? No, I didn't think he was great last season, if I'm honest. Mr. Magoo says, Canning's one of the worst footballers I have ever seen, i.e. Connor Salmon. He brings 0, can't hold it up, pass, shoot, score, head. What can he do? He's horrific. Oh, dearie me. Massive boost for confidence this evening, says Marco. Yeah, it is. It is. David says, the tide has turned. We had chances against Hull which didn't come off. The same chances have been converted tonight. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Excuse me. Christian says, oh, nice one, Christian. Mate, I can really see us putting on something special and getting promoted. Me too, pal. Me too. Ben says, the Preston game finished 0-1 Birmingham. So they lost at home to Birmingham. Who aren't all that and a bag of chips, are they? All good things shall go to those who wait, says Paul. Hope so. Hope so. Key says, $4.99 super chat. Thank you, pal. Campbell, here's your handle. There's no scandal. You're a goal scorer. You're a goal scorer. Thank you, Key. Appreciate that, pal. Very much appreciated. How long do you give Cannon? It's clearly not working, says Chip. We have to cut our losses and let him go. We gotta let him go. I'm sorry. I just get a little bit giddy, a little bit carried away, particularly in back-to-back wins, which haven't happened. Been a lot of pain, but 2 wins in a row is a fab feeling, says JC. Absolutely right. Carl says, I know Wilder loves Peck, however, we do need to give him some rest when we can. Remember how burnt out he got last season when Vinny and Blaster were out? Up the Ramble, like and subscribe. Yeah, he did. It was around that Christmas period, weren't it, where him and Tom Davis were being asked, were just flogging themselves, weren't they? Absolutely flogging themselves. Sadie says, well done, Blades, from a blue nose. Really enjoyed this channel. Thank you, Sadie. Much appreciated. Plus, we won. You did indeed. I've just said you're not all that on a bag of chips, but, you know, thanks for Jack Robinson. Danny says, 90 away from 10K. Like and subscribe. It's free. Let's get a live tracker on that, Danny. It says it rounds up to 10s on here, but I don't think it auto-updates. We are 78 away. 78 away from 10K. Incredible. Start the team that finished tonight on Friday, says Dom. Interesting. Maury says, Mr. V is one of my favourite ramblers. You and me both, pal. You and me both. Jimmy Civil says, Chip Butty, we need to stick with Cannon, even if it's to put some value back into him. He's young and needs to play in a 2. Granted, he shouldn't be starting, but a 20-minute burst might be what he needs. Also, there's an argument to say he could go out on loan in January if we bring somebody else in. He's on a long contract with us. He can put value back into himself with another team rather than us persisting a striker who isn't firing. PJ says, as a team, do we play better without Gus? Stop asking that question. Tough to answer. Cal O'Hare, the human dynamo, says Mike Johnson. Great result. Patchy performance at times, but confidence is key. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, like and subscribe. The one and only Matt SB says, great win for both of us, Jim Bob. Fancy coming up with us? Mate, if you're offering us a ride, let's hitch our wagon to that Cov train and get up to the Prem. Yes, mate. Well done, pal. Well done. Not far away from our game, actually, is it? We'll have to get together and do something for that, I think. Kev with a $2.99 super chat. Thank you, pal. It's 34 degrees here in Brisbane today. Not as hot as Sheffield United. Oh, go on then. I don't know what O'Hare had for breakfast, but I need some of that, says Danny. Me too, pal. Me too. Dave Morwood, what a legend, says Maury. He certainly is. Big tie. Oh, dearie me. John says, I'm utterly gobsmacked and so happy. Wow, we scored 3 goals. Now this should be a big confidence booster. Talk about a game of 2 halves. All Blades out. Enjoy. Yes. All Blades out the enjoy. Yes. I think you mean we're out of the relegation zone, aren't we? But yeah, we'll enjoy that, and we should do. Chris says, Jimmy, what do you think when a team has got the momentum and the opposition goalkeeper goes down as though he's injured, so the rest of the team can go over to the manager for a team talk holding it? I think exactly what you probably assume, I think, pal. I think it's cheating, and I don't like it. I don't like any of that sort of... if it was us, I wouldn't like it. I don't like when our players go down and feign injury. It's happened very rarely, and I wouldn't expect it to continue under Chris Wilder, but we've done that at times recently, and I don't like it because Chris Wilder teams of the past, I was very proud that we were a team that never did any of that feigning injury rubbish. Because it's cheating, essentially. James says, "Hey up, Jimmy, great game to be at tonight. I thought O'Hare was everywhere, and me is class. He reads the game so well. Bring on Friday, up the Blades." Top man. Russ says, "Jim, create a ref's view show with Gaz Dunn. Always has a balanced, objective point of view. We may not always agree, but I'll always get an home. I don't know what you're going for there, pal. But Gaz Dunn, huge contributor to the. He's a Platinum Rambler, and the insight that he gives when we get him on stream is incredible. We've been talking about it, in all honesty, Russ. We've been talking about some way to get Gaz on more frequently. It might be something we do on Ramble FC, because we can talk about wider topics than just Sheffield United decisions, but it's certainly something in the works. Here we go. I think you've corrected it. Always honest, always objective, and worth listening to. Yeah, he always rightly gets great feedback, and he's a pro, isn't he? I know he don't like me bigging him up because, you know, he's worked at this level and he's worked at that level. He's not a Premier League ref and all this sort of stuff. It's a brilliant insight. He's seen more than we will ever see, and he's a pro. So yeah, we all love Gaz's insight, and if we can get more out of him on the channel, then I'm sure, and he's happy to do it, then that'd be great. Got to be careful what you do these days, says North. Experiment gone wrong, definitely. Yeah, I think it was tonight with the formation, but he righted the wrong, didn't he? It's not a, you know, I hope it was an experiment that he doesn't choose to go back to be honest. Brooks on the left says Key. Ras Clark says Samari's tackle shouldn't have been a foul against us. I don't know if any of you lot saw it, but just before half-time whistle, it's irrelevant, but shouldn't have been booked. Yeah, I agree with that. Christian said, I said this, who needs Hamer? Everybody in this league texts Gus Hamer. Let's not try and paper over it, but we've done very well in his absence, I have to say. That win felt like Wilder's first season at Gillingham away, says Chris. We wouldn't have come back from that a few games ago. Hopefully onwards and upwards. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, like and subscribe. John says, you two Ramblers went from despair to ecstasy. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, confidence boost. I know. Jamie Dumpling says, it's so good to have two confident left-backs. It's so good to have two competent left-backs. But yeah, you're right, Jamie. You're right. Lee says, it's on the It's a work this morning in Australia with a smile on my face. For once, come on then, Blades. Let's keep it up the Blades. Over in Oz. Love that, Lee. Thank you for joining us. Love to Australia, says Razglart. Scarlett says, when is the next taxi video? I loved them. Love the channel, up the Ramble. Thank you, Scarlett. I was trying to jump in today, but I had a lot to do. This is a very busy week for the Ramble, but I promise next week, and I'm saying this on stream now, I will get back in the taxi next week and I'll start recording some content for Behind the Ramble because I haven't done it for ages. But yeah, I'll get it done. Thank you, Scarlett. I appreciate that. Woolton says, I hate to say it, Cannon keeps giving me Connor Salmon vibes. Somebody else has said that as well, Woolton, to be fair. I feel like his time is probably up in January. We need to use Ings like we did with Billy Sharp to get the best out of him now, I think. Kel says, everyone like and subscribe to Blades Ramble. Let's get this channel to 10k. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, up Behind the Ramble. Thank you, Kel. Just reading next comment as well from Michael. Thanks for Jack Robinson. Listen, no backsies. No backsies, all right? You didn't keep... We don't take receipts. Are we missing Gus? Discuss. Well, this is the third person to mention it, so I think it's only fair that we do briefly talk about it. I would say Gus Hamer is our most naturally talented player, and I'll only be brief on this because obviously we've got other stuff to get through and we haven't got long to go. I think he's our most talented player. I think he's the best player in the team, in the squad. I do think him coming out of the side ups the responsibility levels of the other players, and I think it appears as though some of them have taken on that responsibility. They haven't got a Gus Hamer to pass out to get them out of trouble. They haven't got, oh, well, Gus will be all over the place. He'll be buzzing around, and if in doubt, Gus will sort us out. He'll dig us out of the danger. Gus Hamer hasn't been playing well this season. There's no doubt about it. But nor were any of the other players earlier on in the season. So yeah, they're taking on more personal responsibility, and I think that's probably just a silver lining that you can take from Gus not being in the side. You can't tell me though now, if we are mid-table by the time Gus Hamer is ready to return, that we are not better for having Gus Hamer as an option, because we definitely are. We definitely are. Let's have a look. Where were we? I'm too busy on that Jack Robinson comment. Matt SB put us down for a loss, but the lovely Sophie said we would win. Well done, Sophie. Matt SB thought we were mates. What's that all about? Chris says it was brave of Wilder to try something new. It didn't work. He was confident we had the players to sort it. I don't think he tried anything new, to be honest. I don't think he tried. Listen, I'm not having that ad, by the way. Fake taxi video, Jimmy. What did I miss? None of that rubbish. We're a family channel. On Behind the Ramble, then we before it were rebadged, but that's where we're going to be putting our taxi content. So I drive an Uber when I'm not working on the Ramble, but I haven't been in it for months. So I'm going to get back into it and put some content out. So that's what a few people have been asking for, Scarlett and the like. Fred says heads will never go down. Now you've got Ben Mee. He simply won't allow it. He'll be your best signing this season, says Flyover Fred. I do really rate Ben Mee. I think he's been a great signing for us. I think it's obvious that he is he brings a bit of a presence about him as well. I think he's been, not been perfect on the field, but I think he brings a calmness, which is what they were talking about, what Wilder were talking about with Gyro as well. Gyro. But yeah, I think it's decent. Jimmy, are we at home on Friday or away? Up the Blades, up the Ramble, up behind the Ramble. We are away. We're away at Deepdale, so we'll be doing a watch along live on the Blades Ramble. Myself and Jordan Motson will be back. Let's have a look. Where are we now? Bryce says, how many games does Ruben get before they sack him this? Yeah, Ruben Sayers has gone in at, is it Zaragoza or somewhere like that? League 2. Key says Gus carried everyone. No wonder he's injured. So we're better without our best player. No. Rich Carrington says, best performance of the season for many reasons. Well played the players. Structure Chris has built to win games is there. Starting to see partnerships emerge. City and Samari looked better today. Yeah, I thought so too. I was with Rich for the Watford game. Kindly had us as his guest. I appreciate that, pal, from the skills group. And we were both saying Samari and Peck weren't really clicking. They didn't really seem to know where they needed to be. And that sort of led on to further Samari conversations in the streams that followed. But I agree, Rich. I think tonight we were better. I'm going to sneeze. Am I? Yeah. Excuse me. Russ says, we are more than Gus. Love him, but we were here before and we'll be here after. We're Blades, not just Gus fans. I think it will lead to more conversations about will he still be here in January? I think if we are anywhere near in terms of the league, I think we'll try and keep him. I also think that some Blades will no longer be as fearful if he is sold than they would have been previously. And I think that's a credit to what the team's producing at the moment. It's proving that we're not overly reliant on Gus, like Russ is saying here. Key says, all three centre-backs are looking better now and becoming a solid force, in my opinion. Yeah, but we play with two. We played with two again, didn't we? Tanganga is a right-back, and this is what people are saying. It's what some of the callers were saying earlier as well. Tanganga is a centre-back, but being asked to play as a right-back, and is it sort of affecting the way he plays? I think he's done all right, to be honest. Tanganga, I rate. I think he's very good for the level. The way he reads the game is very, very good. And I think he can certainly do a job at right-back. It's not like a makeshift for me. But it's not... They are becoming a good unit. I agree with that. But me and McGuinness look like they could be exposed as a 2. I would like to see them tried as a 3, if I'm honest. Simon says, late to the stream. Has David Webster commented yet? No, he's not been here. Chirac's not been involved either. I don't know why, but they've not made an appearance tonight. Wait till we lose next game. They'll be straight on. Trusty Rufus says, Cannon's last shot for me. It's like we have 10 men. Come on, Ash. 300 million willing to spend. Get ready. Behave yourself, Christian. Bless you, Jimmy. Have you got a cold? Up the Blades. Up the Ramble. I'm just on back end of a bit of man flu, Kel, that's all. Gaz says, my only concern is when Tanganga is right back, we lose pace in our centre-back pairing. Exactly right, Gaz. Exactly right. And I think if Tanganga is involved in a back three, we're a little bit more solid and a little bit more safe in a lot of regards. I don't know. There's a better way to describe it, but I think we're a better unit as a three. Yes, Brian, I did have man flu last week. I did. I'm okay though now. Sorry to say this, but it's time to give up on the Cannon experiment. Offers nothing. Gone in January, surely. I think there's a chance he goes out on loan, Andrew, to be honest. He might even go permanently. But we'd expect a bit of, try and get most of his money back, and I'm not sure he goes for that, to be honest. Walton says, me and McGuinness don't seem to have the pace, so having Tanganga is a must to help with that. Yeah, but if he's further upfield because he's been asked to be a right back, then it's tougher for him to get back rather than when he's a right centre-back, if that makes sense. So I have skipped a load of comments to make sure that I got to the end in time, because I always end up leaving the last comments off, which I feel bad for. So let's see if I can jump into any comments that I didn't read earlier. No, it won't go well if I do that, because we're just jumping into random comments. So let's just stick to the ones that are coming in, and then we might even call it a touch early. We've been playing 3-5-2 the last 4 games. Jimmy Ogbenny is our right wing back. I'm pretty sure, Key. I'm pretty sure we played 4-2-3-1 tonight. And I will have that debate with anybody. It's not a I'm right, you're wrong. I feel like we played 4-2-3-1. I think sometimes when McCallum particularly bombs on as a left back, they shift across to a 3, and it might appear as though at some stages we are in more of a 3 at the back formation. But I think when we set, it's a 4-2-3-1, in my opinion. Jackie says, on our way home from the match now, absolutely buzzing. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Nice one, Jackie. Thank you for your brilliant support, adding to that fantastic away support that we could hear on TV as well. Thought Blackburn's support were poor. So if Cannon scores 2 goals before January, do we keep him? No, I think we might be looking to move Cannon on. I'd be surprised if he's with us beyond January, if I'm honest. Yeah, Cannon's not playing that good. We need Gus. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, says Kel. Gaz says, one on Ogbenny, he was class tracking back on a few occasions tonight. Could have gone 2-0 down. If he'd done so well when they broke, if he'd not done so well when they broke. Fair dues, Gaz. Fair dues. I don't think I spotted too much of that from Ogbenny myself, but I was also caught up a lot in keeping up with the comments and stuff like that. So, right, I think I'm going to call it there, because it is now 20 past 11. I've got to the bottom of the page on the comments. Apologies if I didn't read anybody's comment. I did try and make sure I read as many people's comment, at least one comment from everybody out. So hopefully you've all had a comment read that's posted one. Thank you to everybody for your incredible support of the channel. I can't believe how close we are now to 10k. It's absolutely incredible. There's some big stuff planned when we get to that milestone, and I cannot wait to share it with you. We'll also get that retro ramble that a few people have been calling for. What have we got coming up on the channel? So tomorrow will be the countdown to kickoff. On Thursday, I'm assuming it'll be a hot off the presser, and that's a guess at when he'll do his press conference. But we'll also be doing football therapy on Ramble FC. So I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be in, I think we said something like EFL all-time 11 that me and Lee are going to be putting together. So we'll wait and see how that goes. We'll also be predicting some scores going into the weekend. Then on Friday, we're back with another watch-along with myself and Jord Motson, followed by 90 after 90. So, it's been brilliant. We've just got the last few comments coming in. Ash says, sorry, Jimmy, there's a link to play Plats Justin keep getting declined even when I have plenty in the bank. There's a link to play Platt just in keep getting declined even when I have plenty in the bank. Don't know what you mean, Ash. Tonight's win is huge. Momentum is key, says Hey Up Fish. I agree with that, pal. Carl says, hopefully Burrows can push on after tonight and build his confidence back up. Yeah, it looked much more like, didn't it, from Harrison? Watch again, we've been playing 4 at the back when we defend and then 3 when we go forward. The formation is not fixed. I think that's probably fair. I think that's probably right. Great channel, Jimmy Lad. We'll be recommending to the lads 100%. Thank you, Christian. Appreciate that, mate. Night Blades, we're back. Night, Jimmy. Great channel. Keep it ramble, people. And cheers, Jimmy, says Matt. Thank you to everyone for joining us again tonight. But for now, come on, you red and white wizards. We're back, baby. We are so back. We are back. We are back. Up the Blades!